Shocking new Oak Island discovery at Smith's Cove. The depths of Smith's Cove are home to untold riches just waiting to be discovered. An amazing new find has surfaced from the depths of Smith's Cove on Oak Island. It's so cutting-edge that it'll revolutionize the world. Rick and Marty Lagina are digging away at Smith's Cove with boundless energy and excitement. They want to enclose an area of roughly 12,000 square feet with a gigantic steel cofferdam measuring 525 feet in width. With the new Oak Island discovery at Smith's Cove, this is all part of a search that started over 2 centuries ago, with the hope of illuminating an enigma that has baffled humans for that long. Using information obtained from previous excavations by Dan Blankenship, the team zeroed in on a specific spot near the northwest corner of the cofferdam. They theorized that a mysterious U-shaped building was hiding in this area, and that it held the key to the site's long-guarded secrets. Their research of the ancient Smith's Cove was motivated by a sense of hope for the discovery of previously unknown facts. A new finding was made at Smith's Cove on Oak Island as a result of the team's persistent efforts. It wasn't a single epiphany. In reality, though, a fascinating chain reaction of findings occurred. As the dig progresses, the astounding discoveries will be thoroughly described. Gary, an expert metal detectorist, was indispensable, searching the heaps of dirt and debris for signs of anything of value. Not long afterward, his detector picked up a non-ferrous signal, sparking enthusiasm at the prospect of finding valuable gold. The group huddled around in expectancy. They carefully and visibly exposed the shiny object, exhibiting its golden sheen and suggesting it might be shaped like a coin. The prospect of finding their first treasure at Smith's Cove stoked the excitement of the crew. However, more research is needed to determine the nature of the discovery. An important fact became clear upon further inspection. There were no machined edges on the piece, which suggests it was made before 1795, when the first money pit was found. This finding assumes great significance, raising the possibility that the item is a priceless relic from the past. This life-changing find has energized the crew to keep digging, in the hopes of finding even more priceless artifacts. They worked with a wave of melancholy, remembering the pioneering spirit of digger Dan Blankenship, who had originally explored this area in 1971. In order to show their findings to Dan and hopefully shed light on the riddles surrounding Oak Island, they became even more determined to complete their investigation of the mysterious U-shaped construction. The crew kept their will and concentration throughout the excavation, knowing that each new find brought them one step closer to discovering the truth about Oak Island. They were aware of the gravity of their mission, yet unwavering in their conviction that the key to their success lay beneath their feet. As they continued their search, the crew kept in mind Oak Island's legendary history, which has attracted innumerable treasure hunters with the promise of untold wealth and a centuries-old mystery. They took pride in their illustrious lineage and set out to leave their imprint on the world. Their faith in finally unraveling the enigma of Oak Island grew with each new piece of evidence they uncovered. They were so sure that they were on the cusp of something incredible that they were willing to go down any street in search of answers. The crew at Smith's Cove didn't let setbacks stop them from their painstaking excavation work, because they know the answers they're looking for are out there somewhere. Smith's Cove, named after United Empire loyalist Joseph Smith, is a little village perched high above the gently combed the island for riches. They discovered a wide variety of artifacts and antiquities. A handcrafted replica of a map of France was one of their discoveries, which aroused their interest in the artifact. In order to conduct the analysis, they enlisted the assistance of historian and maritime expert Zena Halpern. After determining that the map was created in 1647, Halpern theorized that the resources it indicated may have originated in Africa. During the course of their investigation, the Lagina brothers and the rest of their crew discovered fragments of a book, which further investigation revealed to be a bookbinder. After making this discovery, the brothers began to contemplate the possibility that they had not yet discovered additional buried manuscripts on the island. A fragment of parchment made from animal skin was yet another fascinating artifact discovered. William Chappell and Frederick Blair, explorers of Oak Island, have been hypothesized to be involved. In the 15th century, when the document was created, only the wealthy could afford to dispatch mail. In addition, the explorers discovered a number of gold coins near a pit that became known as the Money Pit. This location sparked the island's obsession with treasure that has persisted for the past 2 centuries. Unfortunately, a recurring issue with flooding halted Chappelle and Blair's treasure hunting expedition when the Money Pit became submerged in water, preventing them from making any further progress. After Chappelle and Blair led the way, many others attempted to find treasure on Oak Island, but unfortunately none were successful. Chappelle and Blair were only the beginning of a long line of people who followed in their footsteps. The issue of where the loot was hidden evaded even President Roosevelt, despite his best efforts. Despite numerous abortive attempts, the search for treasure on the island continued indefinitely. This was due to the efforts of individuals like Irwin Hamilton, who unearthed artifacts that were not typical of the area. It was evident that Rick and Marty had a challenging mission ahead of them. They were fortunate to have a competent and capable team supporting them. Craig Tester, who had been Marty's college flatmate, joined their ranks, as did Dan Blankenship and his son David, all of whom were experts in their respective disciplines. Dan Blankenship, for instance, was a renowned beautiful Annapolis Basin. Researchers are finding intriguing leads, but they know their work is far from done. Oak Island's mystery hasn't lost any of its allure or difficulty over the years. It will continue to attract people for years to come. Smith's Cove, like Oak Island itself, has attracted treasure hunters and researchers drawn in by the promise of untold riches and the intrigue of centuries-old mysteries, prompting countless excavations and studies that have yielded a wide range of findings and ideas. Strange man-made structures known as box drains or finger drains astonished everyone at Smith's Cove. Using pebbles and coconut fiber, these buildings skillfully formed a system of waterways that reached all the way from the shore to the Money Pit. Ingeniously constructed flood tunnels with drains are thought to have been used to conceal the gold. If someone tried to dig for the Money Pit's hidden treasure, the region would be flooded with ocean. Speculation regarding the worth of the hidden treasure on Oak Island has been sparked by the discovery of the box drains. The drainage system itself is an indication of the treasure's potential value, given the level of innovation required to build it during that time period. Another curious construction, this one made of wood and formed like a U, was discovered at Smith's Cove, partially buried in the sand. Experts can't agree on whether or not it was used as a wartime mooring facility or as part of the flood tunnel system. Its presence, however, just serves to further the mystery surrounding Oak Island. In addition to these buildings, a wide variety of artifacts have been discovered in Smith's Cove. Coins from the 1600s and 1700s, as well as pieces of ceramics and metal, have been found. The wide range of artifacts found in one place is evidence that individuals from many different cultures and eras visited there. This has led many to believe that pirates and other mariners frequently visited Oak Island in search of a safe haven to bury their loot. Not only have treasure hunters become interested in Smith's Cove, but geological studies have also been conducted there in an effort to better understand the island's unique features and their possible relevance to the wealth. Subscribe now for more shocking and interesting new discoveries on the Oak Island. The inclusion of rock and coconut fiber box drains or finger drains suggests the presence of a complex flood tunnel system built to conceal the loot. It has been theorized that the island was a favorite hiding location for pirates and mariners due to the wide variety of artifacts found there, including coins, pottery shards, and metal objects. Several treasure hunters have lost their lives in the search of the riches, despite the fact that geological investigations utilizing ground-penetrating radar have yielded vital insights for ongoing digs. Relics from Shaft 6 and a near-identical copy of the fabled 90-foot stone are just two of the incredible finds uncovered by the Oak Island crew. The mystery of Oak Island is deepened by the discovery of artifacts such as coconut fiber, parchment scraps, and human bones. In spite of setbacks, the Oak Island team is still working to solve the island's riddles. The film also references to the mysterious and fascinating character of the Oak Island findings, which have and continue to captivate viewers. Furthermore, it implies that the island's claimed curse contributes to the place's creepy aura and mystique. The video ends by urging viewers to check out the channel's back catalog and sign up for future updates. Click on the next video now to find out more about strange discovery that marvels. On Lot 8, in a recent episode of The Curse on Oak Island, researchers have finally uncovered substantial proof of a metallic anomaly. Marty, Gary, and the other members of the team investigate Lot 8 after finding a large metallic oddity there. They come uncover a number of unique relics, including a garnet brooch and a piece from a bride's horse, which prompts questions about their origins and any connections. Moreover, they discover a piece of beveled iron, which agrees nicely with the results of the most recent magnetometry investigation. This implies that the object was formerly a broken antique cutting tool. This finding suggests that human activity may have existed in a location that was previously believed to be devoid of people. In order to further understand the significance of this significant metallic anomaly evidence on Lot 8, the team made the decision to acquire additional excavation licenses and consult with experts. The discovery raises questions regarding its provenance and any connections it might have to other local findings. The scholars are intrigued by these unique items and believe that this particular area may hold some special significance. A large piece of iron with a beveled edge is discovered by the Oak Island crew. It may be a broken piece of the ancient adze, a type of cutting tool. This result is noteworthy because it agrees with a recent magnetometry research conducted by the team, which found a significant metallic anomaly in the same area, the same site where the survey was done. Our interest in further investigation of that area is piqued by the discovery of this tool in a place that was previously believed to be uninhabited. The team plans to first obtain a permit to excavate before speaking with various experts in order to determine the significance of this discovery. The secrets surrounding Oak Island keep getting more complicated as the show follows the journey of full-time treasure hunters through each new season. However, you might get the same results with your own gear. Their discoveries with metal detectors open up hitherto unfathomable vistas for historical inquiry. Always make sure to get permission before hunting anywhere, whether it's on someone else's land or a public space. The team of The Curse of Oak Island found some scientific proof that suggests it's possible the money pit holds a sizable amount of silver. They also found a patch of cement that had traces of gold and other metals, which made them think that the most rare metal in the world, osmium, would be buried somewhere in the ethereal depths of Oak Island. There is an island called Oak Island in the Canadian province of Nova Scotia. The two brothers Marty and Rick Lagena have, for all intents and purposes, dedicated their entire lives to solving Oak Island's enigma and learning its closely guarded secrets, while harboring the hope of unearthing hidden gold on the island. Despite the fact that they had previously spent many years trying very hard to uncover the island's secrets, but making very little headway in their attempts, it appears that their most recent treasure hunting expedition has really taken a fruitful turn. On Oak Island, the Lagina brothers have made a number of important discoveries recently. Some claim that these discoveries have made it possible to access the hidden wealth on Oak Island. This archaeological gem was found thanks to the use, so the event is both thrilling and disappointing. At this time of year, the shaft can no longer be extended. It is extremely disheartening to realize that this objective cannot be achieved. Both the glacial tumulus system and the series of water-filled anhydrite holes that lie beneath Oak Island may be responsible for the periodic inundation of the pit. Oak Island is situated on top of a glacially formed tumulus system. Oak Island consists of a collection of glacial tumuli. This type of limestone is extremely susceptible to dissolution in the presence of water. Consequently, this process can result in the formation of caverns and other natural cavities. Near the excavation pit, bedrock may be encountered at depths spanning from 38 to 45 meters, 125 to 148 feet. People have been seeking for treasures and artifacts since the 18th century and have made numerous attempts to do so. The Holy Grail, Shakespearean manuscripts, pirate treasure, and the Ark of the Covenant are examples of the types of artifacts that have been suggested to be located on the island. In addition to the Holy Cross and the Holy Spire, it has been hypothesized that other objects exist on the island. According to a widely held theory, the Holy Grail and the Ark of the Covenant were both interred on the island by the Knights Templar. Several items that were initially discovered on the island have progressively made their way to the island's surface over the years. Several of these objects have been subjected to carbon dating, and the results indicate that their ages span from the hundreds to the thousands of years. Enjoying this video so far? Have you yet subscribed? Be sure to do this and enable post notifications to be notified when the next discovery video becomes available. The Lagena brothers would almost certainly receive the preponderance of the wealth. The first piece of information we possess is that the treasure trove license encompasses the current Oak Island search being conducted by the Lagena brothers. This government regulation stipulates that licensed treasure hunters are permitted to legally retain 90% of any money they locate. Marty elaborates by speculating that if a significant treasure were to be discovered on Oak Island, it is likely that additional claimants will emerge and argue for their legal proprietorship of the treasure's contents. This is said to clarify his previous statement. These claimants may assert their ownership based on a characteristic of their place of residence, their familial history, or another factor. To state it more succinctly, a large number of individuals would attempt to acquire at least a portion of the mythical wealth. However, it is difficult to predict whether any of these individuals would be successful. At the end of the day, at least two parties stand to benefit from the wealth: the Lagena brothers and the government. Neither of these groups has an exclusive claim to the prospective benefits of wealth. Each of these parties would have a valid claim to at least a portion of the wealth, if not the entire sum. On the other hand, only the passage of time will reveal whether or not a situation similar to this will ever occur in the Curse of Oak Island. On a mysterious island, a research team unearths a wealth of treasure. Click the following video to see what they discovered, which can be summed up as follows. During the 17th century, William Phipps was a skilled explorer, and the English supported him financially. The Protestant majority, including the political elite and aristocracy, developed a strong dislike for the Catholic king when King James II came to power in 1685. James II adhered to Catholicism, or to put it another way, they planned to depose him. The following stories are word-of-mouth legends from the late 18th century because there is so little information about the early treasure-related operations that occurred on Oak Island that has been objectively verified. It took many years after the incident before publishers began to pay attention to this kind of activity and look into the stories involved. The tale of a treasure found by a settler named Daniel McGinnis was published for the first time in 1857. This is the story's earliest known telling. After that, it was another 5 years before one of the purported original diggers gave a testimony regarding the initial narrative and subsequent Onslow and Truro Company deeds. The earliest settlers in the region heard tales of a dying crew member of Captain Kidd's ship. The man said that Captain Kidd had hidden £2 million worth of treasure on the island. Captain Kidd passed away in 1701. According to the most widely recognized version of the story, Daniel McGinnis came across a dip in the ground in 1799 while looking for a place to build a farm. McGinnis asked for help from other people in order to dig because he believed that the depression fit with the legend surrounding Captain Kidd. With the aid of two people only known by the names John Smith and Anthony Vaughan, he dug out the pit and found a layer of flagstones 2 feet, 61 centimeters below the surface. The earliest documents, however, merely mention marks of some sort at these intervals. Later accounts report finding oak platforms every 10 feet, 3 meters, although previous accounts only make reference to marks. The various legends also mention the tool marks or pick scratches on the hole's walls. The soil was not as well packed as the soil around it, and it was visibly loose. The three men reportedly stopped their digging at a depth of 9.1 meters, 30 feet, because of superstitious dread. In an alternative interpretation of the story, all 4 of the main characters are portrayed as teenagers. According to this account, McGinnis first learns of the slump in 1795 while on a fishing excursion. The rest of the story proceeds in the same manner as the first, with the logs discovered as its focal point, but it ends with the 4 people giving up after they have gone as far as they can. For more current discovery stuff, remember to subscribe. They continued to excavate until they reached a depth of around 90 feet, 27 meters, where they discovered layers of logs, or marks, spaced about 10 feet, 3 meters apart. They also discovered a large stone with symbols engraved onto it, as well as layers of charcoal, putty, and coconut fiber. When the hole unexpectedly filled with water to a depth of 60 feet, 18 meters, the situation for the diggers grew challenging. The alleged dig was finally given up on after repeated fruitless attempts by workers to retrieve the riches from below by excavating a tunnel starting at a second shaft that was equally flooded. The most prosperous company of the pre-publication era is thought to have been the Truro Company, which is said to have been founded in 1849 by a group of investors. Re-excavation of the hole was placed all the way down to a level that was 26 meters, 86 feet below the surface. But it eventually overflowed once more. After that, it was decided to drill 5 boreholes into the machine's original shaft using a pod auger. Recently, scientists made what appears to be a weird discovery in space. Could this be an alien species? To learn more, click the next post.